Hey everyone, welcome back to JP's Budget Collecting and another episode of our Cash or Trash series. As always, I got my man Circumstances with me. What is going on, sir?
Good to be here for another beautiful episode of Cash or Trash. Let's go.
I am glad you are here. Looks like we have my man Unruly in here tailgating early, as was GTT. And there's Deep Houses in the house. What is going on? Welcome, sir. So, yeah, we are starting a little later than I historically have started. This is going to be our new start time going forward because it works better. So it works better for Marcus. It works better for me. Or works, well, the same for me. Works better for you. So
it works better for my wife more than anything.
Hey, happy wife, happy life, my friend. we're not gonna get you in trouble. At least I'm not gonna be responsible for getting you in trouble. So that is,
Appreciate it.
So yeah, we are here for Cash or Trash. Before we get into that, I'm going to mention what I have pinned in the chat in all my videos here lately is the GoFundMe for our friend Jennifer. Comics Will Break Your Heart. We are still working on raising a little money for her. We're up to almost 30. We're in the 29s now, like on raising money for her. So if you can donate, or if you just continue to spread that link so people know that we're trying to help her out as she battles cancer. She's a wonderful member of this community, a good friend, a great person, and yeah, we're going to try to help her as much as we can. Also going to mention, I'll let Marcus handle this. There's another cancer fundraising thing going on in about 2 weeks. You want to talk about real quick?
Comics Curing Cancer, first weekend of October. It will be an event taking place across multiple channels. To get a list of those channels and the schedule, head over to Instagram, Comics Curing Cancer on Instagram, plug into them, and there's a link tree there that's going to give you all the information that you need. You're going to be seeing slabs, comic books, raw comic books, original art. Members from across the community are participating in this, donating to it. Real published artists are participating in it. So you're going to get a chance to get some serious stuff for tax-deductible prices. So instead of paying anybody, you're going straight to the portal for Comics Curing Cancer with American Cancer Society. You're paying them directly, which means that you can deduct that from your taxes and you still get that cool item, whatever it may be that you bought. So spread the word, make sure as many people are aware as possible. Just same thing with Jen. If you don't have the money, one awesome thing you can do is spread the word. And that means a lot. That means almost as much, because the more eyeballs on this, the more chances we get to bring people in and make this the biggest year that we've had in the past 4 years that we've been doing it. So plug into that, Instagram.com, Comics Curing Cancer. I'll put that link in the chat as well.
Cancer sucks, so let's help a couple of good causes trying to kick cancer's ass because it deserves it. So if you can help out in any way, whether it's sharing a link or donating $1 to either of those funds, it is helping people fight that ugly and horrible disease. So please help out if you can. So with that, we're going to get into our silliness. This is Cash or Trash, where we talk about the hot comics of this week and make predictions sure to go wrong because if I knew what I was talking about, I'd be rich. So yeah, we got 14 books to talk about. What is this show? On Saturdays, I put out the Look Back show where we look back at the hot comics from 6 months ago and see how they're doing in the market. Then after they've no longer hot, people aren't thinking about them. Should you have bought them? Should you have been patient? And this is a show where we look at the comics right now and say, oh, this is what we think is going to happen based on what we've learned over the years. So, yeah, how do we do these predictions? As always, we'll get into my little categories. We got our straight cash, homie. These are books that we think are going to continue to go up in value, that buying in now, you're still going to make a lot of money off of them. Generally, we don't do this very often. For the most part, even like big books, like a lot of times we'll hit this list during a spike, and then there'll be like a lull that comes afterward where you can actually still do better. Now, long term, those big books, you're going to be fine even if that lull comes. But yeah, there's not a lot of books that hit this list that are truly straight cash, but occasionally it does happen. We got our worth it. These are books that are, priced about right. If you buy in, you might not make a whole lot of money if you're looking to turn and burn it, but you're probably not going to lose anything. We got our I'll Be Back. These are books that, again, not really that overpriced, but if you're patient, you're going to be able to find better deals if you're not hunting it when everyone's hunting it. And then we got our It's a Trap. These are books that are 30, 40, 50% over the value of their real value. Whatever's going on is a temporary thing that's got people interested in this book. It is not going to last. And yeah, you're just paying the premium because of the news cycle as opposed to the underlying value of the book. And then our last main category, occasionally we'll throw in some other categories, but our last main category is our dumpster fires. These are books that fundamentally are just not going to be able to support this kind of price. They're going to lose 60, 70, 80% of their value. We get 1 to 2 of these every week without fail. Yeah, they just fundamentally won't sustain that kind of value. So those are our categories. Let's see who else has hopped in there. Blue Collar Dan, what is going on, sir? Phil, what is going on? Welcome to both of you. And with that, we only got 14 books to talk about. There was a ton of overlap this week between the two lists, the CBSI Hot Top 10 and the Comic Tom Key Collector Hot Streaming Comics of the Week. I think the fewest books I've had since I've done both lists for this is 13, but I think I've only had 14 a couple of times. There's usually not this much crossover. So not as many books, so we may get out of here quick, Marcus.
All right.
All right, here we go. First up, we have our one option book of the week. This is Revival number 1. Basically, this has been optioned for a sci-fi series now for a while. It's been on the list a couple of times because of that previously, but we got casting news this week, which is why it's hitting the list again. I noticed when I looked at the two lists, the CBSI was talking about values, Tom was talking about values, and there was like a lot of difference in what they were claiming what comics were going for right now, at least on the raw side. So I kind of looked this one up on my own. It's actually a pretty wide range, even for high grade copies, 15 all the way up to 45. Most of the sales are still in that 15 to 20. But there were a couple of sales, 35, 45, 40. Like there were 4 or 5 sales that were up toward that $45 mark. 9.8, only a couple sales there, both for 100. So yeah, this is. I mean, I don't know how much faith I would have in a sci-fi series holding a long-term value. What's your thoughts on this one, Marcus?
Hey, The Expanse started on Sci-Fi, and that's a great series. But yeah,
I didn't say they couldn't make a good series. I said fundamentally causing a book to have excessive value. Those are two different things.
Yeah, it's very true. Very true. Yeah, I wouldn't put a lot of stock in it. And it's casting news bumping this one up. So you're not going to buy this thing on casting news. You are going to get a chance 6 months from now, probably, to get this book for 10 to 15 bucks. So this is definitely an I'll be back. I have tings of wanting this one because of Jenny Frison. So yeah, I might end up getting this 6 months from now.
I do like the Frison cover. I think on this one, if you're on the $15 end of this, you're probably not that bad because the show is being made. You're not doing that bad. If you're paying 40, 45, that's terrible decision. That's not a sustainable vision. You are definitely paying the premium. But if you're paying 15, you're probably okay. 9.8 on this one. You'll be able to get 15 back out of this once it becomes a series. But
especially if you flip it and maybe get a 9.8 out of it with the slab.
So the 9.8 is going for 100. That's not terribly overpriced. Overall, like I said, I would call this an I'll be back. If you're staying on the low end of the current values. If you're going to the high end, then you're moving into trap dumpster fire range at $40, $45. But
that is no longer budget collecting territory.
That is not. That is for sure not. Next. All right, this is my come on man of the week right here. Second book. This is Witchblade number 3, the new series. I've heard some decent things about this. I read Witchblade some back in the 90s. When it first came out. I have not invested in this new series. This is a Mark Silvestri 1 in 25, kind of homage to the Wolverine cover. But here's the thing. This 1 in 25 is going for 50 right now. This is a reused cover. They used this cover before on, Oh, I forgot to write down the issue number. I can look it up real quick, but I might do that in just a second. But here's the thing: the original issue with this cover goes for $20, and people are paying $50 for the 1 in 25 of the reuse of the issue. Make it make sense to me, Marcus. I don't understand.
I think when it comes to things like Erica Slaughter or maybe Witchblade, you have your fans who don't give a damn. Logic and budget goes out the window when it comes to this character for some people, and I think you're seeing that here. Definitely, this is not going to maintain its price. Definitely, you should go back and buy the original if you're trying to spend that much money. But who's listening to logic when your heart wants what it wants?
I mean, but if you're just if it's a cover buy and it's Witchblade 170, I will add that to my notes. I forgot that. Put that in my note. Witchblade 170 is the original time they used this cover. But if you're cover buying, why would you want
why not
premium for the reprint of the cover?
Definitely to wait. There are completionists, and being a completionist is how they get you, obviously. So if you're a Witchblade completionist, then this is something that you have to have. But yeah, no reason not to wait for this one.
Yeah, I think, and also if you just follow the 1 in 25 rules, it's going for double ratio. That means it's going to be a round ratio. My guess is it ends up being basically the price of the original, which is that $20, $25 range. But yeah, this is definitely a trap. And aggressively is right. You want to try to live a life where they don't tie you to a giant size letter of your first name. So
spoiler, AR has not lived that life.
I was gonna say, I can see him. It might be chained up to an A somewhere.
What up, Frog Brawler? Good to see you, homie.
Oh, did I not pop Frog Brawler up? Yeah. What's going on? Glad you're here. Glad you're here. All right, next we got What If Donald Duck Became Wolverine #1. The second print, Scotty Young 1 in 25. I believe there is a trade dress version of this. This is a second print, 1 in 25, going for double ratio. And there's a trade dress, which usually holds these down in terms of value as well. So it only got the double ratio, and there's a trade dress that just literally screams, oh, wrong one. It's a trap. I don't know if I have anything else to add to this one. You have anything to add to this one?
I love Scotty Young, Kansas City representing, but yeah, this is a trap, guys.
Yeah, I mean,
don't believe the hype. Come back and get it later if you really want it.
I mean, it's a fun kind of if these Marvel Disney crossovers that we get now occasionally are kind of fun, but for the most part, there's a few of them that have done really well, but for the most part, they haven't necessarily held any kind of huge value. There are exceptions to that. I know what those exceptions are, but a lot of them have just been like regular covers in terms of actually holding value. All right, next we have Astonishing Astonishing Tales #25, the first appearance of Deathlock, and this is hitting the list because the 50th anniversary of the character, they put out a one-shot for his 50th anniversary, so it sparked a bunch of sales here. But I will tell you, both Tom and CBSI kind of commented on the fact that this was on both lists, that it really didn't move the value here. It just got a bunch of people to buy it. That there were just a higher number of sales this week comparatively because of the one shot, because of the news about the 50th anniversary. But I mean, this is solidly is this even C tier Marvel character? I mean, but I know he has his fans, but we're not really moving value, which just firmly puts us as an I'll be back. There's no reason to chase it at the moment. You got anything to add on Astonishing Tales?
I think you said it all, yeah.
Okay.
Nothing to add.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you like the character, it's a solid book, and it's an affordable Bronze Age key for the most part. But yeah, I don't think I'd be going out and chasing it based on the 50th anniversary kind of coming up. All right, next we have Incredible Hulk #6 from 2023. The first appearance of Ghost Rider 1944, Sal Romero. And this is hitting the list for buzz because we're getting a new World War II set, set during World War II, Hell Hunters series. That's going to feature this Ghost Rider, going to feature Bucky, I think. I think Wolverine's making an appearance. I forget all the characters that are I think Peggy Carter's making an appearance in this Hell Hunters thing. So it's kind of a World War II throwback. So we're getting this version of Ghost Rider. $10 to $30 for raw copies right now. 9.8 still only going around 70. And there have been, for every cosmic Ghost Rider over the last 10 years, there's been about 6 other Ghost Rider characters, maybe more, that have been introduced that don't go for $10. So what are your thoughts here as we talk about this Incredible Hulk number 6 first appearance of this? I mean, it's not a spider character, but it's like the 19th, 20th Ghost Rider version that we know of.
I enjoy this series, and I know a lot of people have jumped off this one, but I like the Nick Klein art. I like PKJ as a writer, so I'm enjoying this series. Buy this one for the read, not for this first appearance. That's definitely not going to go anywhere, as you've said. God bless you if you're paying $30 for this book. God bless you.
If you're getting it on the low $10 end, that's basically double cover. That's not that big a deal, but
10's still too much, I'd say.
But yeah, there's no reason to pay a premium for this. This Hell Hunter series lasts 12 issues maybe, if it goes well. But the odds of this Ghost Rider becoming a big deal just seems pretty low at this point, based on the number of Ghost Riders out there. I mean, we're going to talk about another one on the next 2 books, like another version of Ghost Rider that's make first appearance kind of thing. So the odds of this one being one that people really love seems pretty low. Next, we have another book on both lists, Spider-Woman number 7 from earlier this year. The first team appearance of the Assembly, only they're not going to be the Assembly anymore. They're going to be the New Champions. There's going to be a New Champions book coming out. And these characters that we see here for the first time, just earlier this year as the Assembly, are now going to be the New Champions. And so I don't think any of the characters actually make, the way I read it, and I could be wrong here because I didn't read the book, but just the information here was none of the characters that are part of this team actually make their first appearance in this book. It's just the first appearance of them as a team. It's only doing 10 to 15, 9.8, 55 to 70. So it's like that low end key kind of values on both fronts.
It's a cool cover.
It's a solid cover. I mean, there's a lot of, if you're just looking for cool Spider-Woman covers, they make a lot of those for sure. They use that costume to her full effect, but I don't know. What are your thoughts here on this? The New Champions that we're getting.
No one cares about first team appearances, so.
Okay, that's what I was going to say, but
no one cares about, you care about the first appearance of the individual members of the team, but the first team appearance.
If it's not the first Avengers or the first Justice League,
yeah.
The first Teen Titans, but we're talking Silver Age stuff. Anything since the Silver Age as a team appearance hasn't really ever mattered. It just hasn't.
It might be a Francis cover. I'm not sure, though.
I think it is.
And what up to Darth? And yes, you damn right, too, Chiefs fans. Holla, Chiefs, and nada mas.
I've been off the comments for a while. I need to get back in the comments. Darth is in the house. What's going on? Dave Maris is in the house.
Chiefs.
Deep House is new champions? Oh, new champions.
Yeah,
yes.
New.
How many news can we say? And got a sandwich together. Yeah, basically. That's basically the level of key we got here. Next, we have one of these characters, character, I'm not sure. I don't have the full background here, but she goes by Phantasm. She sort of has a similar power set here. I haven't read this, so I don't know 100%. I'm just going based off what the description is. This is Ghost Rider number 19. She appears on this cover. She is not in this book. This is one of those cover appearances without the character in the book. Going for $25 to $30. And I'll let you say whatever you want. I'm going to click on if I get back over here, I'm just like, I'm going to click on this. And then I'm going to be like, it doesn't matter who this character is because she's not unlikely to matter. And then I'm going to do this, and then I'll stop my commentary.
I mean, I don't have much to add to that. I mean, banking on a new character being the new it thing is just not how this thing works. If you read about a character and you're like, I love this character and I want to follow this character, and you're buying it for that, fine, I respect it. But if you're speccing and you're like, oh, this is it. No, that's not how you play this game, guys.
Yeah,
no.
If you're speccing, you want to be like buying this for cover. You want to be finding this before people are after it and buying it for cover price. Like
you bought this because you love the character and you pre-ordered a bunch for cover price.
If you're paying $25 to $30, like at this stage, that's just not a very good decision.
Frog Brawler's happy.
Where's
Bengals are having a rough night tonight.
Oh, darn the luck.
Yeah.
Darn the luck.
So upset about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Prehistoric Mastodon writing Ghost Rider. Yeah, there's been so many over the last like 5 or 6 years. So many versions of Ghost Rider. All right. Next. We got a little Batman or Detective Comics 583, the first appearance of the ventriloquist and Scarface. And this is hitting the list because of rumors they're going to be a part of the Penguin show, that they're going to play a role in it. Raw copies only averaging about $30 for this late 80s book, 9.8, 160. This is one. I'll let you go before I say anything on this one. I'll let you chime in here on your.
I'm probably going to say exactly the same thing as you're going to say. Definitely, and I'll be back. I mean, you might be excited about the Penguin series, and it might be good, but I don't think it's going to have lasting power that's going to drive any of these characters. I mean, I could be wrong, slight chance, but I don't think it's going to be there. So there's no reason to chase this book for what, $30 at this point in time. This is 1,000%. I'll be back.
I mean, if you're a fan of the character, this book is still pretty affordable at $30 and $160, but there's just no reason to do it right now. Like this time next year, this book will be probably less than it is, no matter how good the Penguin show is, no matter how prominent they are. This is a late 80s Detective Comics. It was not a small print. And there are a bunch of these. It's got a cool Mignola cover. But yeah, this is just, go get this book. Go find a deal on it. No reason to chase it. Yeah, if you're a fan of the 90s cartoon, if you're a fan of the characters, it's still pretty cheap. You're not really like way overpaying if you buy it right now. There's just not necessarily a reason to pay the current premium. Not that it's that much of a premium. So next we got little Marvel team up number 141, the second appearance of the tied for the second appearance of the Black Suit from 1984. Raw copies 85, 9.8406. And this, of course, has to do with Venom 3 and the rumors that are going around. In addition to Venom 3, it also has to do with the rumors of that Sony and Marvel are striking a deal where Marvel's going to get the opportunity to have Venom and basically like free Spider-Man up more consistently or more long-term for Marvel than what the previous deals had been. So that is, now that the Venom series is kind of wrapping up, that supposedly that maybe Marvel's actually going to get him back at this point. So that's part of what's going on here, as well as Venom 3 coming out. Not a huge bump in values here, but definitely a slight bump in values. Thoughts on this one, Marcus?
I think if you're a Venom fan, this is a book worth putting on your list to come back to. Definitely, and I'll be back. It's a cool cover, but now is not the time to buy anything Venom.
Yeah. I mean, after this movie does what Sony Spider movies does at the theaters, I'm guessing all of these are going to be a little bit cheaper unless we immediately. The only reason this is not a short term, I'll be back, like where you can come back in just a couple of months and do a little better, is if we immediately after this movie or get official, hey, Marvel has the rights and get news that Venom is going to be like part of the next Spider-Man movie or Secret War, like get some kind of confirmation, then all these Venom books are going to jump again for a while. So it could be a longer term, I'll be back and from that front. But honestly, like this book has been pretty steady. I mean, there's been some variations, but this, along with these other like, was it the Sensational 90? I forget the number on that one. Like those books have been, it's that second tier black suit keys have been pretty steady through all of the ups and downs of the market. So it's not a terrible thing if you buy in, just not necessarily there's not a reason to necessarily come back. So, let's see.
Yeah, no info. Yeah.
Okay, Dave Marsh says, buy it right now. Yeah, there you go. 13 years ago, $7. That's a much better deal than you can get right now. Second week in a row, we got Venom number 3, the third print, first appearance of Null on the cover, as well as his first appearance, obviously, in the book. Last week when we talked about it, it was around 200 for a raw copy. 9.8, we're pushing 400. Like 390 was the high 9.8 sale last week. Now at raw copies are up to 300. 9.8s are over 400 at 435 for a high sale. We're starting to get into the last week I called it kind of an I'll be back. At this point, I think we're pushing high enough that we're probably getting into the trap range because I just don't trust Sony and Marvel at all. I think if this comes out and Null is awful, just think about what the value of, and this wasn't even Sony, this was Marvel did this. Think what the value of Null was, or not Null, Gore. Those 9.8s were going for $400, $500, $600, and now those are like $150 books. Like if this movie is bad, this book is going to be a bargain in 6 months. As much as anybody loves the character, it just is. You have anything? Am I way off base in saying that?
No, I think you're right. I think you could play devil's advocate and say, hey, the recent discussion with Sony and Marvel wanting to bring Venom over, maybe they're bringing something like Null over. Maybe they're building. Maybe they have plans of building Null up like they built Thanos up. But even if all those things are true, you're going to have a window 6 months from now where this is going to be much cheaper. So I think that Noel has possibilities. It's a dope cover, and he's a dope character. This book is going to maintain value, but it's not going to maintain this value.
Yeah. And we got Bright Sunshine that just jumped into our chat, like bringing positivity to everyone's day right here. We got Bob coming in here, all trash. You're welcome. What's going on? Always brightening everyone's day when we see.
We have been blessed.
We have been blessed. How's it going, Bob? Hope you're doing well, sir.
I hope you're doing okay.
It's not, All right, next, my runner-up for Come On Man, because I had to do it on the Witchblade because it was a reused cover, but my runner-up here was New Avengers 33, the first incursion event in Marvel Comics, hitting the list because Marvel copyrighted the term excursion, not incursion, excursion.
Sometimes you get spec that it's based off things. that don't matter. Everybody knows this does. Everybody knows the first new appearance of some new champions. Everybody knows that doesn't matter, and everybody knows the first incursion doesn't matter. Come on.
Do they? Because we keep doing this.
Everybody should.
I just I realize it's like averaging $20. But
That's a dope. You know what helps this book though is a cool Doom cover.
It has a sweet Doom cover. Yes, yeah. I won't argue that, but to think that I want the first incursion event because it's gonna be worth something. Apparently, it was worth something to somebody right now. I don't know who or why or what they're thinking, but I don't know. These are the kind of books that just make me like shake my head and be like, what is wrong with us? The lemmings are just going off the cliff like repeatedly. It's like, come on.
Yeah. I'll be back. It's cool. If you're a Doom cover hunter though, this one's probably on your list.
If you are, but there would be absolutely no reason to go after it right this moment.
Yeah, later.
Think about the one that I ranted about maybe the most, which was that New Avengers 7 that was the first appearance of the Illuminati because they were in the thing. That book was going for like $100 raw copies at one point, and now it's like a $5 book. Like, there's just no reason to chase these kinds of things. It make no sense whatsoever. All right, last 3 books. We got the first 2 episodes of Agatha this week. I'd forgotten it was coming out. So I haven't watched either of them yet this past week.
But someone asked if we had watched them. Deep House asked if we had watched Penguin, and the answer is no. I'm going to do the same thing you're doing, Deep House. I'm going to binge it, and same thing with Agatha. I'm going to binge it. So,
yeah, I probably what both of those I'm going to do is wait till there's like half the season, and then try to binge like half the season, and then wait till the end and binge it from there or whatever. Like maybe in a couple of binges or something like that.
I like to binge the week of the finale so that I'm ready to watch the finale with everybody.
There you go. So. Been for $4 and it's still passed because yeah. So first up we do not yet know who Aubrey Plaza's character is. They're calling her Rio, I guess. But people are speculating that it's actually a gender swapped version of Blackheart, who is the son of Mephisto, is who people are specking on. First of all, can we just stop with the Mephisto related to anything that had to do with WandaVision or Agatha? Can we stop? Like, just stop doing it. Like, how many times do you have to be burned? It's not happening. And maybe this becomes Blackheart, but do you really think this is going to move this book long term? $30 raw. 9.8, 150 plus. Like, do we really think we're going to care about Blackheart in 6 months? I mean, I love Aubrey Plaza. I think she's like, I enjoy her a lot as an actress. But Blackheart, really? Like, yeah. Am I wrong? Am I off base here, Marcus?
No, I don't think so. I mean, there's a number of problems. Like, number one, the spec could be wrong. Number two, even if it is right, it's probably not going to mean anything. I mean, Aubrey's awesome, and maybe this spins into some character that we all care about going down the road, but it's highly unlikely.
I just find that hard to believe. No matter how good a performance she puts on, or how good the show ends up being, that in 6 months we're going to care about this character more than we have historically. Hey, what is going on, sir? All right, next, more Agatha. We got Fantastic Four 186, the first appearance of the Salem 7, which is basically the group of witches that are a part of the show, along with Agatha. And Raw copies 5 to 20 for a 1970s book. Okay, that's fine. A 9.8 for 450. Are you blanking kidding me? $450 for the 9.8 of the Salem 7, who I think have appeared in maybe this comic and maybe no others. Oh, no, it's not
Yeah, that. Straight cash, homie.
No, it's not. It's a dumpster fire.
But a 9.8, I mean, in their defense, a 9.8 of a 1977 book's pretty cool. But still.
A 9.8 of a piece of toilet paper is, pretty impressive.
Whoa.
It doesn't mean it's got value. And I realize that's,
in 5 minutes of the show.
I mean, if you're collecting Fantastic Four, that's great, but don't be buying this because of the Salem 7 and paying a premium because they appeared in the Agatha show. Like, we've seen too many examples at this point of characters that were part of these Marvel shows that people jump all over, and then 6 months from now, nobody would pay you. Like, you can't pay someone to take the book from you. And that's just where it's at.
I mean, I need this book I have a slight long-term aspirations of collecting volume 1 of Fantastic Four. So eventually I'm going to need this book. Definitely not right now, though.
Yeah. Only the one time. I thought it was the one time, but I wasn't 100% on that, D-Bows. Yeah. Good luck not getting... We understood. You put S in a whole bunch of letters, everyone knows whether you spell it right or not. All right, last book. First appearance of Agatha. I don't think, I put dumpster fire on this one. This one I'm just putting trap. This book has not. Here's history lesson for everybody. This book right now, show is coming out. Getting pretty decent reviews so far. I haven't watched it yet, but what I've heard has been pretty decent so far. Raw copies, 40 to 100, 9.8, 1270. Still way down from when they announced the show. Still not close to the values that things were going for when they announced the show. Here's what I will say. No matter how good the show is, do you think Agatha is a $1,200 character for 9.8? Think of the character, and I realize people were upset with the show. She-Hulk isn't half that for 9.8 right now. Rogue isn't a $1,200 book for 9.8. There's just no way that 6 months from now, a year from now, you're going to pay over $1,000 for 9.8 of the first appearance of Agatha. I don't see it. Am I wrong? Am I off base?
What if they do the West Coast Avengers? Scarlet is a Nexus being, and her kids are two pieces of Immortus' soul, and she ends up killing Agatha, and it leads to the No More Mutants, all in the MCU. Come on, then maybe no. Okay. Then no. I want this book, and $40 for a nice copy doesn't seem.
Well, $40 is a pretty.
Yeah, that seems not so bad.
Again, you're talking about a 70s book. That's a pretty, mid-grade. That's a mid-grade copy, and there wasn't a really high-grade copy that is sold recently raw. So the highest one, the recent sale was 100. When you get into a book from the 70s and you're talking about raw prices, a lot of these ranges that I give you guys, because Tom put down an average of $275, which was graded, which is including all the graded copies and that kind of stuff. Recent raw sales are all 40 to 100, with most of them being 40 to 60 or 70, which are all mid-grade stuff. You get you're getting high grade, but not and by high grade raw copy, an 8, an 8.5, then you're pushing up toward $100, a very fine. But so there was not a 9.8 raw copy sitting there that's sold recently for what that would go for. But yeah, it's still, it just screams trap. It's just like, yeah.
I would say I'll be back. I definitely disagree that it's a trap. First appearance of Agatha. It's a 70s book. It's only $40, range to 100. I feel like that's a reasonable price. So I say go for it, guys.
All right. And this is the last time Marcus appeared on my show because he disagreed with me and he can't get no. Hey, great minds think that, that people think differently. That's part of it. And I think, and I would agree with you, like a mid-grade raw copy going for under $100, I think is probably, from that standpoint, I'd be like, yeah, that's definitely like those prices are probably not that far out of bounds. I just think $1,200 for a 9.8.
Yeah, that's definitely out of bounds.
I think that to me seems like a trap.
For sure.
Yeah. Not that Agatha and Catherine Hahn has made that character for sure her own, and people are enjoying what she's doing with it. I just don't think a year from now, the book is going to be where it's going to be much more affordable.
Well, I think, when we first got this hype for this book, it was definitely higher than where it is now. So I think that tells you it's not going to go back up. I don't think that this show is going to give this character more hype than it got from WandaVision. I don't see that happening.
I would agree with that. And Hoarder's Hide is here just in time for us to be done talking about books. But thank you for showing up. So that was our last. We only had 14 books. We still managed to go 40 minutes. So I want to thank, go back to this. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight. I appreciate it. As always, you got any final thoughts here, my man, before we get out of here?
Shout out to everybody in the chat tonight, but also shout to all the people that'll be watching on the replay. Thanks for coming through, and collect smartly, collect intelligently. Yeah,
for sure. We appreciate it. Hanging out. As always, it's still, I believe, pinned in the chat, the link to Jen's GoFundMe. If you can help Jen out, even just by spreading that GoFundMe link, I would appreciate it. I know Jen is continuing to battle cancer. Every dollar helps her take some of the stress away while she's in that fight. And a second reminder about Comics Curing Cancer coming up here the first weekend of October. So 2 weeks. Little less than 2 weeks now from that. Comics Curing Cancer on Instagram give you all the information you need on that. So if you can help out with either of those, I would be super appreciative. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. Later, everyone. Have a great week, and we will catch you next time. Later. Where's my outro? I'm having trouble navigating. Oh, there it is.